You should take all of your money out of the sports books right now. If you're watching this, maybe you think that sounds crazy, but I'm going to explain to you in this video the reason why you should take all of your money out of your sports books and you should never use them ever again. Everyone thinks that sports books are the only way to be able to bet on sports. Well, it used to be like that in the past, but things have changed now. And the sports books do nothing but just rob you. They give you bad lines, they take your money, they limit you when you start winning, or they just ban you altogether. But luckily we're in the new age now, where we don't have to deal with that whatsoever. Prediction markets are the best way to go, and all of your money that are in sportsbooks should be transitioned to prediction markets. Now let me go ahead and explain exactly what a prediction market is and compare that to your normal sportsbook. So let's go ahead and start off with a sportsbook. A sportsbook is what? Is one entity, okay? Which is right here. One entity that everybody bets with, okay? So you got everybody here betting against this one person, and they're trying to beat them, okay? And what happens when you eventually get a group of people that are beating that person, okay? What ends up happening is they limit the amount of money that you're able to wager because you're taking one person's money, okay? They don't want that. They don't want winners. They want all these people to be losing their money, so this person right here is profiting and making all the money. So they start limiting you. Then, if the limits don't work, they ban you altogether. They take you off the platform and say you can't bet with them anymore. Or you walk into a sports book and they say we're not going to take your bet. That is what happens when you are a winning sports bet. Now the crazy thing is with the sports book is you can't just walk into a sports book, okay, and say I want to bet $500,000 on this game. You can't. You need verification. They're going to ask for your ID. They're going to ask for your player's card. They're going to look into you to see if you're a winning sports bettor or not. How much money have you won with them? How much money have you lost? That is what they're going to do. And if there's any sense of you winning whatsoever with that sports book, guess what? You are not going to be able to place a bet like that. It just won't happen. Because sportsbook's in it for one reason. They're in it to take your money. That's what they want. They want to take your money, okay? That is their overall goal. So why do you think they push a bunch of stuff everywhere, advertisements, everything like that, where it gets you to put in the worst place possible? Because when you lose, who makes the money? They do, okay? Now, let's talk about prediction markets and what prediction markets actually are. So let's talk about a prediction market is similar to a sports book when you log into it, okay? Looks like a sports book, but here's the difference, okay? Remember where I showed you guys you had the one entity that controls everybody else, and everybody's trying to take money from that one person. That's not what a prediction market is. A prediction market is similar to a poker game. If you ever played poker, you got your table right here. You got people sitting around the table like this, right? Everybody's got their money put in on the table, and everybody's playing, okay? Whoever wins the hand, they're just taking the money that is from the other people at the table. So we call this volume. The volume is the amount of money that everybody has at the table altogether. So that is what a prediction market is, and that's what differentiates it from a sports book, is you're just taking other people's money at the table, okay? You're taking other sides where the other person's taking another side. That's all you're doing. And how do the prediction markets make money? Well, they take a rake, okay? They take a percent of the overall pool of all the money that's here. It's like a transaction type fee for being able to hold and host the game at that table, okay? They take a little bit every single time somebody wins. That's how they make their money. They don't make their money by people losing. They just get their money from hosting the platform for you to be able to bet with a bunch of people on it. The most important thing, though, with prediction markets is the volume. Because if there's no volume in a matchup that you're looking to bet on, then there's not enough money sitting on the table for you to be able to make. So, for example, at a poker table, let's say we only had 3 people sitting at the table, okay? One person has $1 million while the other 2 have $10,000 apiece. This guy wants to bet $500,000. He can't because there's not enough money in the volume pool because those other 2 people don't have enough money in there, okay? This rarely happens on a prediction market, but it does happen in smaller, real small markets like soccer that is, in a country that you've never heard of, something like that. That is where small volume actually ends up hurting you, where you can't get, certain plays put down. But the reason why this is the best transition to make and why you should move all of your money to a prediction market is because what I showed you on the last slide there of what? Banning you and limiting you. So as for limiting, there is none, okay? There's no limit because your limit depends on the volume pool. If there is let's say $1 million in the volume pool. Well, you could bet up to $1 million. You could literally bet up to that amount that's in the volume pool. Yes, you would shift the odds completely. You would move the numbers because you're taking up most of the volume. But there's no limiting, okay? It all just depends on the volume. If the volume is there, you could get, a $200,000 bet down, $500,000 bet down. Whereas you can't do that with the sports books. Like I said, you can't, okay? They won't let you do that stuff. Where prediction markets, they will. Now, banning this doesn't happen either because there's no reason for them to ban you. They're making money off of hosting the platform for you to be able to do that on. It's not, if you win, you're not hurting them. You're not taking their money. So most people think that a prediction market is like a sports book, that you're going against them and they're trying to beat you. That's not what it is, okay? They want you on the platform trading because when you are, they're taking a little percentage of every time. That's where they make their money. They don't make their money whether you lose or not. They just don't. So the reason why prediction markets are the best option nowadays, though, is these two areas right here. Because if you actually win in sports betting, I'm going to tell you right now, if you actually win, you're going to get limited and you're going to get banned. And you're not going to be able to have any income source through sports betting. You're not going to be able to win. You're not going to be able to make any type of money. Okay? Prediction market, you don't got to worry about that. And also, the biggest thing here too is sports books, they're not available everywhere that you go. As in a prediction market, you could use everywhere. It's only blocked in a couple states right now, but there's ways to get around that as well. But I'm telling you right now, the best option for you is to go to prediction markets because you're not going to get limited, you're not going to get banned, and you're actually going to be able to wager amounts of money that you would never be able to wager in a sports book. Now, there is one more benefit that I want to share with you guys from a prediction market standpoint as well. So your traditional sports books, sometimes they'll give you a cash out, and the cash out is absolutely terrible. The cash out is never good to do on a sports book. As in a prediction market, it's a different story here. Sometimes you'll put in, let's say you put in $1,000 bet. Let's say you put it in on a plus 120. Let's just put an average out there, okay? Let's say the game starts, and all of a sudden, in the first quarter of the game, it looks like the team that you put your money on, they go out and jump out to a decent lead. Let's say basketball. Let's say they jump out to a 10, 20-point lead. Well, you'll see on a prediction market that your $1,000 now becomes worth more money, okay? It'll jump up to, let's say, 1,500, you'll see. And literally just because your team started out great, you could cash out 1,500 and make $500 without having to have to wait for the rest of the game to go or anything like that. You can literally cash out your money. As in the sports book, they'll give you a cash out option, but it's probably going to be like half of that. They'll give you a cash out option like $1,200 or something like that. But prediction markets, way different. They actually give you decent cash out options when a play that you bet on starts swaying in your favor. So that's another thing that could help you out long term and being able to profit long term as well. Now let's go ahead and jump into one of the prediction markets. I'm going to show you kalshi. So I can show you exactly how that looks and how you could literally bet the most amount of money that you want to bet on any single game. So this is kalshi. Now let's go ahead and take a look at exactly how you would place a certain bet. So remember I was talking about volume. Let's say, for example, you got a tennis matchup right here. Let's zoom in and take a look. So your volume percentage right now, all right? Your volume that you have is there's almost $2 million in volume in this matchup. So if we were to click on it, and let's just say we wanted to take the favorite here, which is this guy, Taylor Fritz. If we go up here, and let's say we wanted to wager $50,000, it would let us, okay? We could wager $50,000 if we wanted to. Now again, you walk into a sports book with $50,000 cash and you're trying to put a bet in, most likely they're going to put you through the ringer to see if you're a winner or not to be able to put that type of money down. Let's make an even bigger one. Let's say $200,000. $200,000. Yes, you can do that as well on here. Like I said, you move the line maybe a little bit though. It goes from 63% to 65%. That's another thing that prediction markets do that makes it easier for you to see. So when you see the cents here, that's just a percentage, okay? That's pretty much your implied probability percentage. That's all you have to pay attention to. Okay, so for example, if this is 63 cents, it's a 63% implied probability that they're giving you that this play is going to win. Again, if you guys watch my videos on YouTube, you know the biggest way to find an edge is the true probability versus the implied probability, and that's where you find your gap. So it's easier to see on here because you don't have to use the sportsbook numbers and kind of like translate those into percentages. These are already translated for you. So it's just in cents. Okay, but all you have to do is switch it around to make it percentages. It's that simple. Plus, let's go ahead and take a look at the options that they give you. Okay, you don't have to just bet on whether somebody's going to win or not. You actually do have props. Okay, they give you props They give you alternate lines that you could move here. They give you all that good stuff. So it's not just limited as in, Sportsbook, they offer other options for you. Yes, they do. But again, if you're a winning sports bettor, you're not going to be able to get a certain amount of money down. Like, you're going to get limited eventually, and that's just the way that it's going to go. So another thing is with kalshi is, like, it's not just sports. I mean, they have everything else on here. They got politics, elections, crypto, climate change. I mean, you could literally go and wager on. Now, I don't suggest this, but you could go and wager on what the weather is going to be in the town that you live in, okay? You can literally wager on that type of stuff. Now, if the volume is there, then you have a shot there. But let's take a look at something that doesn't have volume, all right? Let's go to soccer, like I said. Sometimes there's random soccer games that don't have a lot of volume on there. This one, for example, right here, we got $40,000 in volume. So if we click that, here's the only issue. When the volume is not there, let's say we wanted to take this team. If we go up here and we run that same numbers that we wanted to do, you can't do it, okay? Because there's not enough money in the pool. So if you were to put $50,000 down, it wouldn't let you do it. It says payback $17,000, but that's because there's no money in the volume there. You need to have that to be able to make those type of bets. So if there's no volume in the pool for a matchup, you have to ignore it. There's no reason to bet that on here if there's no volume in the pool. Now, you only see that, like I said, in little soccer games that are in areas you've probably never heard of, okay? That's the only time you really run into that stuff. But for other sports, like, let's go to basketball here. Let's go WNBA. WNBA, like, this is looking at early right now, and this just started. Trading on this just started pretty much a couple hours ago. It's already at 140,000. So by game time, this will probably be up to almost $1 million on this game. And again, WNBA, you'll be able to bet whatever it is you want. The number one most important thing with prediction markets is focusing on the volume. Make sure the volume is there. As long as the volume is there, then you're good. Look, we're already up to $250,000 now, just in a matter of clicking a button here. So people are wagering a ton right now on the WNBA. That'll get up to $1 million by game time, and you'll be able to bet this game. You could bet player props. Look, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Player props for points, assists, rebounds, player threes. You could do all that good stuff. So again, no reason to have your money in sportsbooks anymore, because prediction markets are the way to go. I've taken all my money out of sportsbooks. I don't even deal with them anymore. I'll be honest with you. I don't deal with them whatsoever, because I've did nothing but ran into problems over the years of trying to do this professionally, and it's just not worth it anymore. There's no reason to do it. Prediction markets are the way to go. That's how you're going to be able to make all your money. That's how you could do this full time and not have to worry about making 30 different accounts. Now, just because prediction markets give you an advantage to be able to bet more money, get more money down, doesn't necessarily you need to, because you need to have the strategy. You need to know exactly what to bet behind that. You can't just go on there guessing of what you should be putting bets on. You can't. Luckily for you, I created the Linemaker AI, which gives you the exact plays and the exact research in seconds for you to be able to find the best plays possible on any given day. If you guys want a trial for that, make sure you guys click the link in the description. So that way you're not guessing on what you should be placing your money on. And if you're looking to wager heavy amounts of money, I suggest you always consult the Linemaker AI to make sure that you're putting in a bet that is correct. So if you haven't already, I suggest you take all your money out of the sports books, completely forget about them. There's no reason for them anymore, because the thing is that you can move all of your money to prediction markets, and you could also earn interest on your money, such as kalshi, what I just showed you. You can earn interest on your money just being in there. So you're making money just for them holding your money. Sportsbooks don't allow that, right? Sportsbooks don't do that. They're in the game to take your money no matter what. They're not there to give you money. Same thing with casinos. They're all there just to take. They're not there to give you absolutely anything. Now, I do want to talk about one other topic here that I've yet to go over, which a lot of people are probably wondering, and that is parlaying. Because of your normal sportsbook, you could parlay 100 legs together if you wanted to, a bunch of unnecessary stuff with, putting a lottery ticket in. But can you do that at prediction markets as well? Well, let's dive into it and I'm going to show you. Now, I'm not an advocate for parlaying a bunch of stuff together, but if you do want to, there is an option. You can go to combos. Combos are prediction markets area of parlays, okay? So let's say, for example, this is tennis, okay? Let's say we wanted to parlay all these people together. Well, guess what? You can do as many as you want, all right? You can parlay everybody together if you wanted to. Again, I don't suggest you doing that, but you could if you wanted to. And it'll show you up here what it pays out and everything like that, which is, I don't know exactly how they run the parlay market per se, because you got to have somebody on the other end of everything. I think they just take a little bit of volume through, every matchup here. and they apply that to your parlay. That's how they come up with it. But again, this is another reason why you could easily switch to just prediction markets, because if you're a parlay bettor and you like to bet on parlays, you could easily go here and do that as well. You don't just need to keep it within one sector either. So we threw a bunch of tennis players down here too. Then we can go to baseball. You know, let's say we want to throw some baseball in there. Well, you can throw some baseball in there as well. And you could really stack it, you know. Everybody that loves to stack their parlays together, you could do that. Now, I don't suggest doing this, obviously. If you're going to do any type of combos, I would always suggest, you know, maybe stick to 2 to 3, possibly. And they got to have a plus percentage. If it doesn't have plus percentage, then you have to ignore it. It's just the way that it goes. But you can parlay on here. Parlaying is an option, and you don't have to just stick to one genre. You can mix a bunch of stuff together as well, whether it be women's basketball, baseball, tennis, in the PGA, you know, people that make the cut. You could do all this stuff. Round one leader. I mean, you could literally do everything you could do at a prediction market. Okay, it's the same exact thing. The only thing different is you're going against other people and it's peer-to-peer, rather than you're just going against one entity, which is the sportsbook, that never wants you to win. So they're going to figure out every way possible for you to not win. As always, guys, I'm Frank with Linemaker Sports. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, I'm out.